Have you ever encountered someone so profoundly arrogant, so wrapped up in their own self-importance, that you felt a visceral urge to bring them crashing back down to earth? I'm talking about the kind of person who enters a room as if they were personally dispatched by the heavens to cast a shadow on everyone else. They speak with an air of authority that suggests they are the sole reason society hasn't collapsed. For them, an apology is not a sign of strength, but a cataclysmic event, a fracture in the very fabric of their universe. If you know that feeling, then prepare yourself. Today, you will learn how to systematically dismantle a person's ego. Not with brute force, but with the surgical precision of philosophy. We are not just dipping our toes into any philosophical stream. We are diving headfirst into the abyss with Nietzsche's technique. And let me be clear, this is not an exercise in pettiness or revenge. This is a lesson in psychological mastery. You are on the verge of unlocking a form of power so potent that your mere presence will make the arrogant sweat. Whether your goal is to humble a narcissist, to pop the overinflated ego of an insecure tryhard, or simply to navigate the world with the quiet confidence that you can check anyone who dares to. Believe they are untouchable, you have come to the right place. We are about to arm you with 3 psychological nukes. Once you understand how to deploy them, you will not only be capable of destroying egos, but you will become ego-proof yourself. Your own sense of self will be a fortress, impenetrable and absolute. And a quick note, I always make a point to feature my favorite comment from the previous video at the end of this one. So stay with me to see if your words made the cut. Now, let's begin. Our first tactic is the most devastatingly effective and deceptively simple. Indifference is the most violent weapon. Nietzsche himself offered a profound warning. He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. Let's internalize that because it's the foundation of this entire strategy. You do not need to engage in heated arguments. You do not need to raise your voice or descend into screaming matches. You certainly do not need to post cryptic, passive-aggressive messages on your social media stories. The only thing you need to do is master the lethal, silent art of not caring. You must understand the fundamental nature of egotistical people. Their entire existence is a performance, and they are desperate for an audience. They feed on your reactions. Your approval is their nourishment. Your attention is their validation. Your outrage is their proof of impact, and your jealousy is the ultimate confirmation that they matter. They crave any emotional response from you, positive or negative, because it solidifies their place at the center of the universe. The moment you deny them this, the moment you hit them with a wall of calculated, uncheckable indifference, their fragile ego begins to short-circuit, glitching and failing like an ancient piece of software. Imagine this scenario. Someone begins to brag excessively about their wealth, their online following, their endless list of accomplishments. Your instinct might be to challenge them, to one-up them, or to roll your eyes in disgust. Instead, you do none of those things. You simply offer a slight nod. You don't compete. You don't try to diminish their achievements. You just say, cool, and then seamlessly change the subject, as if they had just informed you about the weather or what they ate for breakfast. Do you have any idea what this does to an ego-starved clown? It sends a clear, brutal message. You are not the main character. In my world, you are not even a supporting actor. You are background noise. And that realization inflicts a deeper wound than any insult you could ever articulate. An ego cannot survive in a vacuum. Attention is its oxygen. When you kill the reaction, you suffocate the ego. So the next time someone attempts to flex their superiority or bait you into an emotional response, refuse to match their energy. Instead, drown them in an ocean of silence and calm, detached curiosity. You will have a front row seat to watch them self-destruct as they desperately scramble to regain your emotional investment. Now for our second tactic, ask them one question their ego cannot answer. Egos fear one thing more than being ignored, and that is being exposed by the flimsy scaffolding of their own logic. This is how you mentally dismantle someone without ever raising your voice, without ever breaking your composure. While they are in the midst of their self-aggrandizing performance bragging. Flexing or acting superior, you wait for the perfect moment. Then you calmly pose a simple, surgical question that is designed to shatter their carefully constructed self-image. For instance, if they declare with unwavering certainty, "I don't need advice from anyone," you don't argue. You simply ask, "Then why do you become so defensive the moment someone disagrees with you?" If they boast, "I know exactly what I'm doing," you don't challenge their competence. You gently inquire, "Then why are the results not matching the level of your confidence?" If they try to justify their abrasive behavior by saying, "I'm just being real," you don't call them a liar. You ask, "Is it real, or is it just insecurity expressing itself as loudly as possible?" Do you feel the shift in power? You are not insulting them. You are not attacking them. You are simply holding up a mirror to their ego and calmly saying, "Explain this contradiction." Nietzsche once wrote, "Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed." This tactic weaponizes that very principle. It doesn't destroy their ego with the noise of your attack. It forces them to destroy it themselves in the desperate, fumbling attempt to defend it. It is a quiet, elegant, psychological checkmate. They are left trapped in a maze of their own making, and the only way out is to confront the very inconsistencies they have spent their lives trying to ignore. This brings us to our third and perhaps most diabolical tactic: expose their insecurities. Using compliments. Oh, this one is particularly potent. This one feels personal because it uses the very mask they wear to slowly and methodically strangle them. Here's the play. First, you must identify what they are most insecure about. It could be their intelligence, their physical appearance, their social status, their career. Once you have identified this tender spot, you do not call it out directly. That would be too crude, too obvious. Instead, you compliment it. You praise it loudly, publicly, and with a veneer of sincerity. But here's the crucial twist. You overdo it. You lay the praise on so thick that it becomes suffocating. It should sound something like this. To the person insecure about their intellect, you say with wide-eyed admiration, "Oh my God, you are so incredibly confident for someone who doesn't have a formal degree." That is genuinely inspiring. To the person terrified of public speaking, you are literally the best speaker I have ever seen. I couldn't even tell that you were nervous at all." To the person who constantly seeks validation through their appearance, you say, "Wow, I wish I had the courage to post as many selfies as you do." I mean, the confidence is just goals. Observe what you have done. You haven't insulted them. You haven't attacked them. You have simply taken their deepest, most guarded insecurity and highlighted it by pretending it is their greatest strength. At this point, their ego is thrown into a state of complete chaos, tap dancing frantically between two terrifying thoughts. Did they actually mean that as a compliment? And wait, is that how other people truly see me? It is a form of psychological whiplash that leaves them stunned and disoriented. Egos are not built on a foundation of truth. They are built on a foundation of performance. And when you begin to echo their own lies back at them, but with the volume turned up to an uncomfortable level, their entire identity begins to tremble and shake. Nietzsche famously said, "One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star." Trust me, this tactic brings the chaos. You become the unsolicited mirror, the reflection they cannot bear to handle. Egos are fragile, delicate things, wrapped in the cheap fabric of fake confidence. They project boldness, but deep down, they are hollow and brittle. The most effective way to destroy one is not to attack it head on, but to expose it. Not with rage, but with precision. So, let's recap the arsenal you now possess. First, indifference. You take away their oxygen. Remember that reactions feed the ego, while silence starves it into submission. Second, you ask them the one question their ego cannot logically answer. This holds a mirror directly in their face and forces them to confront the person they truly are, not the person they pretend to be. And third, you complement their insecurities. You echo their own lies back at them with such exaggerated enthusiasm that they can no longer hold up the mask. But let me be absolutely clear. This knowledge is not meant to turn you into a toxic individual. The ultimate goal is to become untouchable. It is about cultivating a state of being so calm, so clear, and so profoundly unbothered that fragile. Egotistical people simply cannot stand to be in your presence. Now that you know how to destroy an ego, we must talk about how to protect your own. Because the hard truth is, if you are easily offended, if you are easily triggered, if you are obsessed with being seen and validated, your ego is just as breakable. As theirs, Nietzsche did not preach the gospel of fake confidence. He wanted you to build something far deeper, something he called the Bermensch mindset. This is a state of being that is immune to likes, compliments, insults, or fleeting trends. The Bermensch does not require external validation because they create their own standards. They walk their own path, alone if necessary. And most importantly, they do not react impulsively. They respond with purpose, with clarity, and with undeniable power. So here is your savage final reminder. If another person can wound your feelings simply by withholding their attention, they control you. If their opinion has the power to shift. Your sense of self-worth, you are nothing more than their puppet. It is time to cut the strings. Mastering the ego is not about becoming heartless or cruel. It is about being so deeply rooted in your own identity that no external force can shake. Destroying someone else's ego might provide a moment of satisfaction, but becoming the type of person that no one can manipulate, that is real, lasting dominance. So go ahead, be the calm storm in the midst of their chaos. Let them flex, let them flinch, let them fumble for a reaction. But you stay perfectly still and watch as their ego inevitably self-destructs. Because real power doesn't need to scream. It doesn't need to beg for attention. It simply walks into a room and everyone feels its weight. The ego is not a symbol of strength. It is a fragile costume stitched together by the threads of fear, comparison, and counterfeit confidence. Nietzsche's technique is not about destroying others just to feel a fleeting sense of power. It is about helping you see through the grand illusion. Because once you do, you will realize that most people are not intimidating. They are just loud masks hiding scared, insecure minds. And the most dangerous person in any room is never the one who is shouting. It is the one who doesn't flinch. The one who sees everything and says nothing. Destroying their ego is truly. That's simple. This isn't cruelty. This is evolution. Listen to me. I am not trying to teach you how to fake strength. I want you to become the very thing that egos cannot survive around. A mind so grounded, so self-governed, that it bends reality to its will without any visible effort. Stop playing their game. Instead, be the glitch in their matrix. Because the strongest ego is the one that has no need to exist at all. And now, for the comment of the day. This one goes to Carmen, and it says, I feel like I want to endlessly quote this video. Wow. Okay, people. It sounds like Carmen is about to walk around quoting savagery like it's a Shakespearean remix. And lucky for you, I wholeheartedly approve of this behavior.